Hello, welcome to the webcast, everybody. It is Tuesday, March 29th, 2011. Manufactured Home Show live. As always, we do it live. And today I have my beautiful wife in the kitchen with me, so if I'm talking to this space over here, I'm not talking to the thin air. I'm talking to my wife. Say hi. Louder. Thank you. Okay, there's a lot to get to today. Um, Especially President Obama's speech. We want to talk a lot about that. But before we get to that, we must mention the show's sponsor, manufacturedhomemart.com. Go there for buying manufactured homes, also to put them up for sale. Or if manufactured housing is your business, if you have a park or if you have a retailership or brokerage, you may want to check out manufacturedhomemart.com. It's definitely for you. Now then, before we get into the Obama speech last night, which is really the main part about what I want to talk about today, I wanted to say that the breaking news that I saw on the front page of USA Today is about the home prices still falling. And basically, the Standard and Poor's index is showing price declines in 19 cities. And it's just more of the same type of stuff. But the housing data, I think, is important because at some point, there's going to be a turnaround. Everybody can speculate however they want. I can have my opinion, you can have yours. We don't know. But one thing is that we do know is that the housing market is still in the toilet. And we are in Phoenix, which is one of the cities listed here as one of the hardest hit places. That's because we continue to face foreclosures. We have even more foreclosures going into the marketplace. All not good, and all not good for manufactured housing either. But on the bright side, we don't have to talk about that today. We get to talk about Obama's speech. So let's not dilly-daddle, okay? I missed the speech last night, but I was able to watch it just before coming onto the webcast today. Let me say that Obama delivers a fine speech. And I like him as a president. I know a lot of people do not. But everybody, that's the great thing about America, is people are entitled to their opinion. You are allowed to have a voice, unlike a lot of places like Libya. So let's talk about it, because the speech that Obama gave last night was about Libya. And I thought it was a fine update to the American people in regards to what's going on over there. So I'm going to paraphrase a little bit here about Obama's speech and some of the high points. He started the speech out and he pays his respects to the troops, which I always think is appropriate and good. Anybody out there in the United States who does not appreciate our military, you're an idiot. So anyway, basically Obama started off saying we had a responsibility to act. Everybody knows Gaddafi is a tyrant, and basically the rationalization for going into Libya was, of course, that he was going to attack, I think the name of that town is Benghazi. But there was going to be a big slaughter, basically, and that's why the president decided to intercede. Obviously, it's not just the United States involved in this. There's a coalition. Now, in the process of doing things, they were able to freeze $33 billion of Libyan money, which we know Gaddafi was in control of that, which later on the president referred to that $33 billion. He was saying that we're in control of that money. And so it'll go back into rebuilding Libya if there's anything left of it, of course. The president was clear in what he said. He said Gaddafi has to leave. He has to stop the attacks on his own people. So that's why the UN came in with the resolution. They told him to stop and he did not, so that's what prompted the attack. We know all about that. They started to bomb and they temporarily stopped. You know, the president said that they stopped Gaddafi's advance. As we know, right now as we speak, there's continuing violence in Libya. So the truth be told, we haven't stopped Gaddafi just yet. I know we have stopped one slaughter from happening There could be others, of course, that happen, but that remains to be seen. Point is that the fighting goes on. Gaddafi's not giving up. He talked a little bit about the swift action that we were able to act within 31 days. And he referred back to Bosnia, where it took more than a year for the coalition to respond. Different situation. My memory doesn't serve that well. I remember the Bosnian situation. I don't know how many people were in danger or being killed. But I have to say, from my point of view, the reaction time of the president and the coalition was good. 31 days is pretty good when you're ramping up an international effort. This was not a unilateral effort, part of the United States. So anyway, he also made it clear that the U.S. is doing what they said they were going to do, which is to spearhead the first effort, the bombing and stuff like that, using the missiles, and then transfer power to NATO, which he said is going to happen tomorrow. NATO is supposed to be taking the lead, and at that point, the U.S. is supposed to take a more supporting role with communications, this and that. What actually we will do, he didn't make that clear. But he did not say we were going to have troops on the ground. He said it was going to be a big challenge to restore a government, which actually, that's probably the biggest thing that he did not touch on, because I don't think anybody really knows who the rebels are. I don't know if there's any kind of organization to what's going on in terms of, quote unquote, the rebellion. And that's why a lot of critics of the president are up in arms still, because while we're trying to oust Gaddafi, Obama made it clear he wants them out. But what does that give way to? What regime will take over Libya? Hopefully the Libyan people are able to somehow put together some kind of democratic government. That is not going to be easy, and the president said it won't be. We all know that that's not going to be a simple thing. So anyway, he went on talking about the fact that he prevented the massacre and saying that we couldn't turn a blind eye. He said that it was that he would not wait and let the atrocities unfold and let a bunch of people die. And he said failure to act would have been against our best interests. So depending on your school of thought, you're going to agree with what the president has to say, whether or not we should have acted over there. Talked about policing the world and how we can't do that, but sometimes it's our moral responsibility to act. Ongoing with the coalition, they're going to try to protect the citizens. They want Gaddafi out, blah, blah, blah. He said there's not going to be a repeat of a repeat of Iraq, which I hope that he is right about that, because we all know that it costs trillions and trillions of dollars and a lot of lives lost in Iraq. And we cannot repeat that. The president said we cannot repeat that. Hi, honey. And hopefully we shall definitely not. So anyway, he also, at the very end, he defended the use of our military to protect our interests. Now, that's about it. Rah, 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 go USA. I thought it was a good speech. I thought he clearly defined what we were doing there, but clearly it's undefinable what the outcome will be. A lot of that depends on the Libyan people. But I think we're in agreement across the board that Gaddafi's got to get out. So what that lends itself to, we'll have to see. But obviously, the United States is very interested in Libya. Babe, do you know why we're interested in Libya? No, why? They got a lot of oil. Oh, yeah, that's right. So no matter what anybody thinks about it, certainly oil plays into it. So it's neither here nor there at this point. We all know that oil runs the world. Okay, but today CNN is also reporting, I thought this was pretty scary, that the town of Misrata is taking a pounding, and I guess they're appealing to the government or the coalition to do something about it. And they couldn't, CNN says they cannot independently verify the witnesses' descriptions, but what this guy says, and I quote, This is from CNN.com. The carnage and the destruction and the human suffering from both the evictions and terrorizing the city, it's beyond imagination. It's incredible, he says. So I guess people are being slaughtered over there in Misrata, so what are they going to do about that? It's a big, big, big problem we got going over there in Libya, and God help us with that. I'm not going to chime in anymore about it because I got to get out of here. I got to go do some work. I'm not fixing the world, but we'll be fixing some mobile homes. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I will say this, though. If it wasn't for our military protecting us, I would not have the ability to go to work, right? Wouldn't even be here. So if I was wearing my hat, I'd tip it to the United States military, the greatest fighting force on the planet. And I will say that the United States is far and away the leaders of the world. And like it or not, agree with Obama or not, we are different than the rest of the world. We are more advanced than the rest of the world. And with that comes a great responsibility. And I happen to agree that sometimes you have to take action, especially if there's a natural disaster, like you see the tsunami. We're not sitting on our asses about that. We got people over there doing stuff for Japan. And then when it comes to like a mass genocide, you know, some crazy dictator is taking his own people out, you know, while the rest of the world sits there and just lets it happen, lets it go by, the United States, you know, gets together with some other world leaders and makes something happen. I have to say that I come from that fiber. I think that we have to take the lead on a lot of world issues. So God bless the United States of America. God bless President Obama. God bless you, honey, because right now I am going to turn my attention to you for a second. Because we sold 2 homes over the weekend, used mobile homes, and you did it. So here's my standing ovation. Los sons. I'm the headless webcaster. All right, so anyway, I'm not going to get into used mobile homes. I think I'm going to save that for tomorrow. But that's actually my favorite topic when it comes to manufactured housing. It's where it all began for us in the manufactured housing business. Used mobile homes and parks to this day is still my favorite aspect of the business. And it's fun when I get to work. Well, sometimes it's fun when I get to work with my wife. Other times it's a pain in the ass. But I still love her and she does a tremendous job. And I would like to thank her profusely for her efforts. Thank you, honey. Okay? My sincere thanks. Anyway, we'll talk more about used mobile homes tomorrow on the show. So tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We'll be here again for the webcast. Once again, Manufactured Home Show, brought to you by ManufacturedHomeMart.com, the premier online store for manufactured housing. Check it out. Manufactured homes for sale, for rent, buy them, sell them, just about everything. State-of-the-art site. The best in its class, people. ManufacturedHomeMart.com. We'll see you tomorrow. We love you. Peace.